All right, here is a quick look at a new project that is going to be coming to Kickstarter in the near future. I had gotten some, I believe it was Bard minis, hand-painted minis, Bard songs, I think it is, hand-painted mini a while back. And as one of their Kickstarter updates, they asked, hey, would anybody be willing to check out products from one of our friend companies that's going to be coming to Kickstarter soon? And I said, yeah, sure. I have a YouTube channel. I'd like to check it out. And they sent this along for me to look at. And it's actually very nice. It is a dice box slash dice tray tower all-in-one solution. You can see it's got some engraving, and it is actually textured engraving along the edge. It kind of looks like a book. I've seen a couple different versions, so this doesn't have to be this specific art, I don't think. They'll have different options and covers available. But you can see it's Thorns Tavern, and it's got some thorns around a D20 filled with ale. But it looks, and it's got some nice engraving on the edges here. You can see the hinges. It sits on a bookshelf like a book, so you can put it on with your DM guides or your player's guides or any of your other RPG books. Set it on the shelf. Same pattern on the back and little latch over here. If we open it up, we unlatch it and open it, and inside, you can see. I'll lift this up a little bit. So this is, I don't know if this comes standard or if this is this section right here, this little pouch is going to be an add-on or something else you can get, but there's a little pouch, you can open it, it zips, you can store dice in there, extra things, pens, pencils, markers, small tokens, whatever you would prefer. This is also, I believe, an add-on piece. It's unscrewable, but it's a pencil, but it's got a very interesting, this is all lead, and I'm not sure if this actually wears down or if this is supposed to be one of those kind of infinite pencils that I have seen on Kickstarter from one of the companies I got a pen from has one like this, but you can see it writes. And it doesn't appear to be wearing the tip flat or anything, but I haven't messed with it too much, so we'll see. But you can screw the cap onto the end. It's a nice little gaming pencil. It doesn't have an eraser attached, so you'd have to have a separate eraser, but I generally carry a retractable or separate eraser for mine anyway because I use a little click pencil, and the erasers on those don't last very long. But so that's a little pouch you can store right here. You can store some extra dice in this slot. I also have, it comes with a special foam piece here, and I've got my rainbow drop dice in there. It's a porous foam. It's not quite as thick as like a Felder foam if you've used any of those for carrying minis or things, but a nice foam. It holds one full set of D7, seven dice set, your standard gaming array there in the foam. It's just a bunch of square holes that they can all slide into, and these are larger dice, so you could take that foam out and have a couple sets of dice in there if you prefer. Things like that. You can also, if you don't have the pencil holder or the pouch, you could have a pencil. You could fit like some minis in there. And while this is my Aeroprax mini, and his shield keeps him from getting quite all the way in there, there's enough space over here that I can still, even with that mini inside, fully attach, fully close and latch the thing with him in there, because he's not super obtrusive. Like you could conceivably cause some issues with larger minis, but your standard, and he's big. He's got a big cape coming out here. I don't play this character currently. He was in one of my previous games, but he's still technically active out there. Right now, I've got a Water Genasi investigation rogue in my main game, and then I've got we're playing. If you've seen me talk about Labyrinth and Lyre, which just finished on Kickstarter a couple months ago, we're kind of playing in a homebrewed Greek mythology game where I'm playing a character who's an Echo Knight fighter, who's a demigod son of Poseidon, and the Echo Knights are like watery clones from his Poseidon powers. But anyway, that's enough about me and my gaming things. But yeah, it's a nice little tray. You can see this opens up here. You've got this tray that you can, again, pencils, this pouch, minis, more dice, whatever you want to put in here. This is a solid, and there's a magnet that holds it closed. This is like a non-removable chunk right here, but for when you have this laying down, this is slots that, again, we're playtesting Daggerheart right now, which has some cards. So if you have some stat cards or reminders, you've got And these are a little floppy because they're print and play, but you can have like some stat cards or any sort of like initiative trackers if you're on that side of the table, however you want to do it. But if you have any stat cards or anything like that you need to keep track of things, you've got some card slots there. Or if you're just playing a board game or something else that requires you to have a hand of cards or something to keep track of, there's 2 rows of slots here on this piece of wood. Now the real feature of this is, like I said, you've got the dice over here. We'll grab a couple out of here. And then over here on this side, you lift these pieces up and snap them together, and you've got a little dice tower. And the dice tower, you can see there's magnets on the bottom, because when it's in 2 pieces, there's also magnets in here to hold it in place and keep it from falling out when you open the book. But it also has magnets in the corners, and those magnets can line up. So you can attach this to either corner of the book and use the dice tray. And well, got to be more accurate with rolling them. But yeah, 3, an 8, and a 60 for the D10. But you roll your dice, and even with, again, slightly larger, like these are Dispel dice, rainbow drops. Even with slightly larger dice, they fit through. Like, obviously, you can't roll one of the big chunky D20s or anything like that through there, but roll the 20. There you go. How about that? So yeah, but you can attach it magnetically to either side of the corner, however you're sitting, whatever orientation you're sitting in. If you'd rather have your dice here and have your dice over and have your tray over there, you can use it separate. If you're just sitting on a table, you can pull it out. And again, it'll roll just fine there. Or if you just want to have an open dice tray, you can just set this to the side, roll them right in the dice. Another 20. How about that? You can't see it, but there it is. D20. So a couple critical successes here as we show it off. But yeah, it's going to be going up on Kickstarter soon. Thorns Tavern. I don't know if they're calling it a dice tray, if they're calling it a dice storage system, but I'll be sharing the link to it on Twitter when it does go live. But it's a really nice product. I'm really happy with it. I have the Wormwood one that I reviewed a while back, and while that's nice and cool, and I think has a neater dice tower itself, it does require like the leather strap to hold it all together, and then you kind of have to dig all the panels out to get into it. Whereas this is very intuitive. You open it up, you got your dice right here, dice tray pops right out. You got 2 pieces, slaps together, goes right there on the corner, and you're set up and ready to play. So yeah, check it out when it goes out. I'm sure there'll be multiple options for different kinds of woods, different designs, patterns on the outside of the book, but latches together very securely and goes right back on the shelf. And it looks really nice even with the binder end out, without the full color art. Just stick it on the shelf with the rest of your gaming books, and then when it's time to play, you just pull it down and you got everything you need right there in it. But yeah, there is the dice tray, dice book from Thorns Tavern. It will be available soon on Kickstarter, so keep an eye out for that. And again, keep rolling 20s and have fun.